It's funny because you're late for everything.
And hopefully you've seen the show before and remember some of the music, but we are on live, and unfortunately the gremlins seem to have gotten us again from Halloween. I guess we didn't give them enough treats, although I think I may hear a faint version of the intro. I guess not. Anyway, hi everyone, Daphne D, and I am hosting tonight. We've got some hosts that are traveling or suffering a blackout, and so this will be fun. We've got two great guests. We have got Hannah Small from Bournemouth, Dorset, UK, and Anne Miles from Louisville, Kentucky. Welcome, ladies, and we'll be starting as soon as the intro is over. Just a reminder that the Q&A is enabled. Just go to bit.ly/BTS_guests, and you can also watch later on youtube.com/behindthescanner. I don't sound as well as Kelly does, but it's live, it's live. All right, and this will be getting started very shortly. Okay, so welcome to the show. Again, I'm Daphne from Washington, D.C., and yeah, so I am going solo tonight, so it's going to be ladies' night here. Our first guest tonight is Agent Anne Miles, also known as Riversong. And welcome to the show.
Yay! I'm late for everything.
It's all good.
I'm well known for it.
You're here now, and hopefully some viewers still are too.
Yeah.
Right, so you are coming to us from Kentucky, the land of derbies, fried chicken, and bourbon. Now, also kind of in your specific town, you've got a lot of players that seems to have a high ratio per capita. How did you all stumble on the game, or what, did you recruit each other, or what?
No, that didn't happen. Actually, our town, I live in a little town called Mount Washington, 7 miles south of Louisville, Kentucky, and there were, I think, 3 or 4 level 8 players when my husband and I started, and this was actually a level 8 Enlightened farm, and they weren't real happy when we started playing. And as far as I know, I think last count, counting inactives, there were around 13 Enlightened that live here, and about 6 resistance. So it's a little bitty town. If you watch Back to the Future or something like that, imagine that. It's a small American town, and there's a lot of us that play here, so it's kind of fun.
That's great. So when the Louisville recursion happened, did you guys all participate? Did you guys carpool together? What was your experience like?
Yeah, Louisville recursion was a satellite, so we had. I thought we would have maybe 20 players going in. I was the lead for the resistance. We ended up with about 60, I think, before it was all said and done. So resistance. So I was really happy with that, and we had a good turnout. I went personally to every player that I could get a hold of and cyber-stalked them and said, hey, please come out, and they did. And we had some people travel in, even though we only had 2 weeks to prepare. So that was amazing.
Wow, yeah. I mean, those are definitely a lot of work, and over 2 weeks. Now, how did it turn out?
It turned out very, very well. It was a hard-fought and very close battle. We won, and we were very happy to win. It was our Blue Valentine, so it was February, yeah.
Well, now, before Ingress, is it true you're a competitive figure skater?
Yes. Yeah, my last competition was in 2003. I was with Moms on Ice, and we traveled down to Knoxville, Tennessee, and the oldest member of our troop was 83. And I was actually the youngest, and it was an ice dancing troupe. But I've done everything from ice dancing to, of course, freestyle. I never did pairs, but I competed. I started skating when I was 6. So.
Oh, fun. Now, do you still skate now? I mean, just even for winter?
Just for fun, yeah. I don't get to go a whole lot. It cuts into my English time. Yeah.
Maybe that could be a fun farm.
Yeah, it would be.
All right. So now, currently, you're a web designer and a graphic designer, and yet somehow you combine it with your passion for video games. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I got the big idea that web designers could learn from video game design a few years ago, and so I pitched the idea to a couple of people that I knew, and they thought that was a really neat idea. And so I ended up writing for Smashing Magazine, which, if you're in the web business, that's kind of the best design blog in the world. So I got to write a really cool article about web design and video game design and how they affect each other. So that's been kind of neat because the fallout from that has been that I've gotten to talk to a lot of different video game designers and kind of get into using some of that in my own work. So that's been really interesting.
Wow, very cool. And you've designed some of really well-known Ingress memorabilia, or just some of the posters going on. I don't know if you're able to show. I don't know if we're able to show them on right now, especially with our technical difficulties. But yeah, tell us about some of your pieces, because I'm sure if you even bring them up, some of our viewers will probably really remember.
Yeah. Well, I did the T-shirt for Unite 8. So if anyone has a T-shirt or a sweatshirt from Unite 8, that's probably the first one that I did. And then a really well-known series that I did was the Resistance is Existence campaign for, it was when we were doing the recruiting, when iOS came on. I started doing that series and used street art to blend the recruiting effort with what the resistance is about, because I think that there's a really maybe not great perception of the resistance as not being artistic or not being creative, and so I wanted to kind of combat that, and street art is really a great representation of what we stand for. So I use street art from all over the world, and a lot of those things are portals. So it was really great because I used stuff from Banksy and of course all different kinds of street artists. And what was really great from that was that I had a lot of street artists contact me after I put out the first series, and I've actually got another series in the works, hopefully to be released soon. I have a folder with about 60 different I'm interested, and I want to keep that rolling because I think it's a really neat thing. So that was a lot of fun. And then some of the other pieces I've done, if you saw the poster for Alaska, I was the dispatcher, I think Enlightened call it operator, for the Anchorage anomaly. So that was a lot of fun, and I got to do their poster. And I did a piece with a little boy who's got a cape. So you may. Yeah, he's a superhero. I'm talking about how even low-level players are important at anomalies. So that was a big message we wanted to get out. So.
Cool. Now, I mean, your work, I mean, it's really remarkable. And you're also going to be speaking at an Internet Retailer Magazine's conference?
Yeah, it was really funny. They called me. Rodney, my husband, and I, we both thought that Internet Retailer was calling to renew our subscription. It was actually the editor calling to ask me to speak at a conference in LA regarding gamification in e-commerce. So, and of course, the first thing I wanted to talk about was augmented reality gaming and how that affects commerce, because there's so many implications with Jamba Juice and of course, you know, the different initiatives that Ingress is pursuing. You know, I wanted to be able to talk about that. But they don't really know about it, to be honest. So I'm probably going to just do a really short intro on it, and I'm going to be talking more about, you know, standard websites. But yeah, it's a really exciting thing.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, if anybody's going to be in the LA area, would they be able to attend?
Yes, they would. Yes, they would. So I can post the link later. So
Please do. Yeah.
it's the IRC.
Yeah, I have to say, like, yeah, with your work and Hannah, who will talk about a lot of visual stuff. So, yeah, please definitely post the link.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got to say, I love how you combine all your interests. And how do you balance that with your ever-growing family? I saw that your daughter just got married, and now your family's expanding even more.
Yeah, I'm a grandma.
Would not have guessed that at all.
Yeah, I get that a lot. Yeah, my daughter's 22. She got married 2 weeks ago. So I have advantage of that fact. And yeah, good job, guys. Great field you put up. I was picking at the wedding cake and I saw the green go up. I was like, but, fine, it's fine. Anyway, no, it was a really nice wedding, and we had a great time. And yeah, so I didn't play a lot of Ingress the last month because I was planning a wedding, but mostly I don't sleep a whole lot, and I balance it all. I don't know, if you ask my friends, they'll probably tell you badly, but I try, you know, so I just juggle and say oops when I drop something.
Yeah, that's great. And you also seem to be a big reader. Patrick Rothfuss, you were writing about quite a bit. What kind of genre is that?
He's high fantasy, and it's something that if you read anything that I've talked about with Ingress, you'll probably see me quoting him, because he talks about a beautiful game, and the beautiful game is something that I've kind of brought into Ingress, and it's an idea from Rothfuss' work. So, and it's the whole idea that it doesn't matter if you win. It doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point is the working of your mind, that it's like a dance, and that that is the most interesting and important thing in the game. And I think that that's something that needs to be said. And so, yeah, I really love Patrick Rothfuss and all of his work, but he kind of replaced Robert Jordan for me. I'm a huge fantasy reader. I'm a huge geek, so yeah. And I think somebody asked me, how the heck do you read when you do all this other stuff? Well, I listen to it on audio, so I'm not reading.
No, that's actually really smart. You know, some people listen to really cool techno or have their different playlists, but yeah, listening to books while you can. I mean, do you do it while you ingress, or are you talking about other while you're engaging in other activities?
Well, if I try to do it while I'm ingressing, then my husband, who's always with me, he can't glyph. Yeah, because he can't deal with the words. So yeah, if I'm by myself, I can listen. But yeah, there's been a few road trips for key exchanges and such that I've been able to do that, and then a lot of times while I work. So.
Okay. Oh, funny. All right. And so I guess about Ingress, what would you say is your favorite thing about it?
The communities. Mm-hmm. Definitely the people. Yep. So I've made a lot of really great friends, and we're all very close.
That's great. And you created a community to help other communities improve their communities. Is that right?
Yeah, it's called Meta.
What is that? You guys have some really interesting acronyms. So what does that mean?
Yeah. Well, meta, the word in geek culture is kind of denotes something that is about itself. So the community for communities, I had to name it meta. So anyway, yeah, I just kind of got a wild hair one night because we kind of went through some stressful times as our community. So I wanted to be able to talk to other leaders and find out how they dealt with those. And I know that there was an Ingress Leadership Roundtable where people could do that, and that's really great, but it was cross-faction, and sometimes people aren't so honest, unfortunately. So I started this kind of as a resistance-only group to be able just to openly share and talk honestly and not have that extra layer of fear or anxiety or whatever when you're posting. So yeah, and it's been great.
Oh, cool. How many communities do you work?
I work with?
Yeah, for Meta.
Oh gosh.
I mean, is it global? Is it nationwide?
Yeah, it's very global. We have people from oh gosh, from Serbia, from Russia, from Spain, from Portugal. Yeah, everywhere. So
Wow.
yeah, it's very.
That's pretty amazing. All right. So speaking of communities, we have a good one here with our viewers. Would you mind if we took some questions from them?
Oh, that's fine.
All right. So let's see. We have a question from Wother R. Although you may have kind of talked about it a little bit, but maybe there's some other aspect. But what's been your favorite part of being part of the greater Res community?
Just the opportunity to grow so very close to people. It's really it's a trite thing to say, but it's actually really true. I think that the internet can be very intimate, and you can have a heart connection with people. And so there's a lot of times when I haven't been able to get out because I've been trapped in front of my computer working or doing other things, and I've still been able to be connected because of those communities. And so and then having their support, just through everything with my daughter and she's had some medical issues before the wedding happened, and so they've been very, very supportive. So yeah.
Cool. Now this next question comes from MTAK, and it sounds like there might be an inside joke in here, but is there the doctor agent name in the world, and have you met them? Does that mean anything?
I have met several the doctors. I think I know that one. Yes. I haven't met in person, I don't believe, but actually, hello. So, yeah, River Song is very Whovian. So if you're not aware of that, I get a lot of love from the Doctor Who community because of the screen name that I chose. So yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, it's one of the big English cultural, pop cultural things that I know I need to really educate myself on.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to like it. So fielding seems to be a big interest for you as well, especially something that I've heard about called the deadliest bath.
Yeah, that's one of quite a few that I've been really privileged to work on. Shout out to Arizona. Hello, guys. We actually, though for the deadliest bath, that was more Midwest, the part that I worked on, and then I got to work some with the teams in Alaska. It covered about 3/4 of the North America, and it was right before an anomaly. I forget which one now. I was up all night, so I'm surprised I remember any of it, to be honest. But yeah, we had a really amazing team. I will tell you, the architects of that field were just incredible. I was deathly sick for about 2 weeks before that, so I wasn't able to help the way that I normally do, but I came in kind of last second and was able to jump on Intel and work with the team. So we had a last-minute blocker in Homer, Alaska. And it ended up there was a 5-hour drive that had to be taken, and one agent started, and then his daughter had to go to the hospital out of the blue, and so another agent had to actually go, and head down there. And so in the meantime, there is one Ingress agent who lives in Homer, Alaska, who went by the handle of Blah Trap, and he was enlightened. And he had an enormous bar tab. And I'm not ashamed to say that I tried to bribe him by paying that bar tab.
I love that you got his bar tab. Really great intel.
He passed out. Okay, I mean, 20 feet from the link. Could have had his bar tab paid. Didn't do it. Anyway, yeah. So good times, good times. We did get the link down. We did get it the field up. But yeah, that was fun.
Okay, cool. So just kind of biting off of James Lipton's standard questions, because it seems like you already engage in a lot of really interesting activities. What would be another career path that you, or even another hobby that you'd be interested in trying out if you had time?
I'd be a novelist. So yeah, I have several things that I've kind of been playing with and working on. So that's probably number one.
Yeah, well, it's NaNoWriMo month, so think about. Anyway, so missions. Are you a mission creator? And if so, which kind of missions have you done, or what would you do if and when you have the power?
I am a mission creator. I've got a couple that are in the queue. So one is a really cool one, and Community actually sent to me to put up, which is a historical one about the Civil War, which is really neat. Lexington, Kentucky is a huge historical town, obviously, for America. And then we only have one mission right now, I think, in Louisville, last time I checked, which is a bourbon crawl, the Urban Bourbon Trail. Which is okay, it's fine, but yeah, we have a certain pub crawl here called the Bambi Walk, that everybody is kind of really excited to see become a mission. So that's the one that I want to get working on. The problem is that the Bambi Bar, actually everyone's too drunk by the time they get there to submit it as a portal. So, and it's the main one, so we kind of have to get that as a portal. So if you're watching this, guys, go submit that tomorrow, okay? Do it now. So anyway, but yeah, that's one of the big ones that we want to see happen.
Oh, that's cool. So speaking of bourbon, I wish I knew my bourbons as well as my whiskeys, but what's your favorite brand, or let's see, T-True was asking, what's your favorite adult beverage if it isn't bourbon?
My favorite adult beverage, by the way, so
what is that?
Angel's Envy. We only drink Angel's Envy. Yeah, and there's not very much left. You can see that because yeah, it's really good. But yeah, we only drink Angel's Envy. So hi, Kyle. Yeah. Actually, one of our players is a distiller, and that's his brand. But it's honestly really, really good. So if you get the chance to try it, I highly recommend it.
Angel's Envy. I'm gonna have to look for that. I also love it just simply for the alliteration of it. So just back to questions. How many have you actually done, and or how many have you that you've created, and how many have you even just done of others?
Of the missions?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I honestly haven't had the chance since the missions came out. I was working on the wedding. I haven't had the chance to do any of them. So I know that's terrible. Hi, Jorge. But it's something that I really want to get out and do. So I've been kind of on catch-up time with work. The wedding wasn't too long ago, so I've been doing that. But that's my next to-do list is go hit missions. I'm also about 70 portals short of level 11. So anyway, there's a guy, Drew Dondero, who's going to beat me in a bet tonight, probably, because I'm here instead of out capturing things. So that's okay.
I like other priorities.
Yeah.
And so, Jorge, welcome back. It looks like you have now been enlightened.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Well, I'm a little bit like I don't know, excited and crazy because just the power comes back and I have lights in the house and Wi-Fi and everything. And well, I was thinking I was not going to make it to this show, but well, here I am.
Well, I think that with 3 ladies in the house here, I knew that you were going to make it with all your power to make it tonight. So I'm glad that you have your power back and that you are now on.
Thank you. Hi, Anne. Hi, Hannah.
Hi there.
So Jorge, you ready to jump on in?
Where are we?
Okay.
Where Anne is going to have 60 seconds to talk about everything she wants or not yet.
Nope, we're right there.
So go, Anne.
Okay, 60 seconds to talk about anything in the world that I want. That's a really dangerous thing.
55.
First of all, BCY till I die. Love to all of the Louisville English Resistance. I want to talk a little bit about the last few weeks and about how discouraged some people might be. I've heard that some people are a little bit angry, and I just want to point you back to about the beautiful game. Have things that we might not agree with happen. The important thing is not the score, it's the team. And the beautiful game is really, really important, and how you play is what's important. So, and I think that that's a message that needs to be said and spread. I don't know if I've got anything else to say, so I will turn it back over.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anne, for being extremely patient with all of our technical difficulties and being such a wonderful guest. It's really great meeting you.
Likewise.
And I will have to try that. What was it? Angels?
Angels Envy. Yes.
Angels
Only drink
Envy.
Angels Envy. Yes.
All right. I'm gonna be on the lookout for that. And yeah, I'm very envious that you have such a teammate with talent. Something like that. All right. So viewers, who amongst all of you guys has room in their inventory still? Because it's time for the code. These are shareable, but limited redeem codes. But yeah, I'm sure some of you guys are going to be sharing with your different groups, teams, hangouts, and whatnot. So we have no idea if they're good for 20 redemptions or 500. But ready to go. Let's see if I can figure this out. And that is not it. All right, sorry, forgive me, guys. It's live.
Great.
No, it's coming.
Where is it? Where is it?
I have it on now. All right, here we go. Here we go. Go get him. Go get him. Go get him. Leave it on for one more second.
Can I pull up my phone too?
All right, Jorge, ready to introduce our next lovely guest?
Yes, well, our next guest comes from across the lake in East Dorset, England. Welcome, Hannah Small Agent Lucianis. That's right.
Blue jeans.
Lucianis. Oh, sorry.
No worries.
All right, great.
Hi.
Being up so late and being really patient. Um, so you list your occupation as a freelance garment technologist, tailor, and dressmaker. Please share. I think most of us will know what a tailor and dressmaker is, but what is a garment technologist?
A garment technologist is basically a tailor or dressmaker, but it's taking the garment from a concept drawing right up through to a 3D object that somebody can wear. So it's running the whole garment right from the concept right through to something that you can wear, and making sure that it fits, making sure the pattern is correct, making sure that you can share it with other people who might want to make that same garment. And it's quite a long, complicated process, and it's quite technical, but I quite enjoy it.
That's amazing. Now you have a website actually where you feature your clothing designs, right?
There is, yes. It's got some white outfits on it currently, which most of my outfits come in white to start with because it's easiest to design in that colour, and then I can create them in any other colour after that. So yeah, if it looks a little bit white, that's why.
Oh, that's great. I was going to ask you about that. Now,
Yeah.
for those who might want to check out your website, can you share us the address, please?
Yeah, it's just www.hannahsmall.co.uk, and take you straight there, hopefully.
Yeah.
It is in the process of being built, so there are some things that will be added hopefully over the next few weeks, and it's an ongoing thing. So.
Okay, no, they look absolutely lovely, and they make me want to take a little stroll in some beautiful prairie. But no, it's really good to know that they are that the colors are changeable, because I was going to ask you, if you had recommendations for someone like me who seems to be a magnet for stains.
It depends what the fabric that you have stained is, as to whether I would recommend. So if it's cotton, then just simply wipe it off with a damp cloth, and then wash it at a normal thing, a normal temperature. If it's something like silk, then my best advice is don't touch it at all. So, yeah, certainly don't rub it in, but just try and soak it away, and hopefully it should come away. So,
That's a really good tip. I was having lunch with a friend of mine who's wearing this really fantastic tie, and unfortunately, yes, got a little bit of his lunch on it. And okay, so that's a really soak it. Nice.
Well, I hear you like to dress up on the weekends. What do you wear, and is it clothing you make yourself?
Yeah, it's all to do with charity. My boyfriend does a lot of reenactment, and he goes out. He's part of a group called the Pirates of Poole, which is one of our local charity groups. And basically, they spend their weekends dressing up as pirates, entertaining people, and getting people to donate money to charity. There's a local hospice for children that have learning difficulties and physical disabilities, and they spend a great deal of time raising money for that particular charity. And I quite often go with them and just hang out dressed as a pirate, which is quite good fun. So yeah, it's cool.
Sounds really fun.
Yeah. And you have children too, right? Do they dress up with you as well?
Yeah, I've got one daughter, and she's 7 years old, and yes, she does come out dressed as a pirate with her little parrot on her shoulder and her little sword. So yeah,
Oh my
she has a
God,
great
it's
time.
adorable.
So yeah, she absolutely adores it. It's brilliant fun. So.
Oh, I love it. Do you have? I tried finding them, but I don't know. just a small request. I'd love to see pictures of that. That just sounds darling.
I will put some on public so that.
Yay!
Great.
I love the power of having a show.
Do they play English at all? Or
Yes, actually. My boyfriend started playing about a year ago now, and my daughter suddenly became interested about a month ago. So I set her up with her own account, and she just hit level 5 last week.
Oh.
So she's doing really well.
Nice.
So yeah, and we've been doing family excursions and going out and having fun time out. And she's really enjoying it. So it's all good.
Very fun. Now, speaking, I guess, of a excursion, you were also the Enlightened organizer for the Helios Dice event in London. Well, how far is London from you, and how is organizing the event for you?
London's not too far. It's about an hour and a half on the train. And I work in London 2 days every month, so I'm really familiar with the area and quite a lot of the players. And somebody said to me that, oh, we're having this dice event. How do you feel about organising it? I was like, oh, okay. So, no, it was absolutely great fun. It was a lot of hard work, but I had a really great team that were able to help out. Adam, particularly, was a complete rock throughout the whole thing. He managed to help organise everything that I couldn't do, because he was, being hands-on in London and I was sort of down here, so we worked together really well. As with most things, it's kind of a little like herding frogs in our sort of respect, because there's so many people. You've just got to make sure that they all turn up at the same place at the same time and get to the start point. Beyond that, it's kind of out of your control, but that was sort of like the main focus of it. But yeah, it was good fun. Everybody had a good time. We didn't win, unfortunately, but it was still a really, really great afternoon. So yeah, it was good fun.
That's great.
have you explored places to play, or well, either for anomalies or just to regular play to visit some agents?
Yes, I've been quite a few different places actually. I made a list earlier because I was sort of thinking about it. But yeah, I've been to a lot of places in Europe. The Hague and Amsterdam in the Netherlands, Paris, Barcelona. I'm going to be visiting Switzerland fairly soon. No, sorry, I've been to Switzerland for Ingress. I've also been to Germany for Ingress. I've been obviously all over the UK, London, Helios, London Interitis, Manchester Helios as well. So yeah, it's involved a lot of travelling, a lot of meeting people, and a lot of good fun really. The next thing that we're going to be doing is going to Barcelona for the final Dasana event, which will be on the 13th of December. So that will be the next big one that I travel to. So I'm looking forward to that, meeting up with some of the people that I've met over the last kind of couple of years, really. So yeah, it's like going back to finding old friends.
Great. Yeah. In all these travels, you probably get to some interesting places, or maybe some interesting experience while you were there. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, probably the craziest was going to Amsterdam, where we basically came up with an insane idea to turn the entire city into a green level 8 farm. And there were eventually over 1,000 portals that were turned level 8, although I think only at any one time there were about 800 standing. But that was an all-night event. It started at 10 p.m, finished, I don't know what time it finished, sometime on the Sunday. But yeah, it was a great fun event. I would have never have done that if it hadn't have been for this, because it was just, way out of anything that I've ever done before. But it was good fun, and it was just watching it all appear on Intel as we were going around, because I was in a car team, so we were driving around the north of Amsterdam. We were putting in portals as we went. I think we built about 250 portals when we were there, and we kind of finished our area, and it's like, oh, let's head into the city. And so we ended up driving in and around the city of Amsterdam, which isn't a car-friendly zone. It's all pedestrianised with trams and little tiny streets. And driving around the city the wrong way down one-way streets at 4 o'clock in the morning with 3 cars in convoy, it was fairly entertaining. So.
Only imagine. So, you know, there are a lot of portals in Europe. So I'm going to have to ask, what's your UPV?
I am currently level 11. I don't walk very far, which we'll come to in a minute, I expect. So I've managed to get to over 1,000 portals and cap them, and I think I've visited nearly 3,000 now. So just for hacking. So yeah, it's quite a few, but I expect that there will be more as the time goes on. So there's certainly planning to be more this year.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did allude to this a little bit, but you told us before that you are actually disabled. And in what way and how do you adjust for that with ingress play and your bowels?
Yeah, no, it's cool. I have rheumatoid arthritis, which is a particularly painful and chronic condition, and it means that I am most of the time in quite a lot of pain, particularly when I'm walking and, you know, running around doing things. With regards to ingress, one of the reasons I started to play was because it seemed like a good way of just getting out of the house and giving myself something to do when I was out and travelling around. So it was actually a really good thing, as it turned out, because it's meant that every single day I go out and I go for a walk, which means that I'm active, my body is moving, I'm able to keep using my joints more than I would if I was just sat at home in a chair with my feet up. And it's just kind of given me a reason to just get up and do stuff, really. So yeah, it's all good from that point of view. With regards to playing, I quite often, if I'm going to a city and they are for hire, I will hire a disabled scooter, and I can sometimes be seen zipping around the place on a little 4-wheeled buggy. So
Fun.
It's not unusual for that. It proves a really good disguise as well, because if like other team members or the opposition come out and about, they're looking for me, they don't obviously spot the person who sat down in a corner on the scooter. So I have surprised quite a few people like that.
Nice, I like that.
Well, now during the Seventh World Twitter hour today, Joe Philly had tweeted that he lost 50 pounds from going out and playing. Do you have any thoughts or recommendations on how to improve some fitness to help those less mobile get fitter?
Yeah, in regards to that, I mean, you know, apart from, you know, doing all the regular exercises like going swimming and seeing a physiotherapist to get some specific exercises for your condition, but it's literally just to get out and walk. If you have a condition like mine, you pretty soon learn your limitation, and I make a point of never going beyond my limitation, except on Tuesday when I went up to London and hit level 11 by doing a 7-kilometre hike. But you know, there's always the exception. But you know, normally to make sure that I set myself a limit, I wasn't going to walk for more than an hour. I wouldn't, you know, play for more than an hour, which kind of limits things from a point of view of leveling up and things like that. But it does mean that I can play within my limits. I don't end up in too much pain. I've still got time to do things, you know, other things that I want to do. And of course, there's always Intel, which I do a lot of, you know, and it's another way of playing. So it's good from that point of view.
Nice. Now, you're also a mission creator, right?
Yep.
What missions have you set up?
Wow, that's quite a big thing. I've We have, as mission creators, a list that we have a mission creator tool, which if you go to the mission creator community that we have on Google Plus, there's links to it there. You can fill in a form and request a mission in your area, and one of the team will kind of get back to you and will look at putting the mission together for you. From that list, I've probably created about 15 so far, but I've also been working in and around the UK and taking recommendations from agents, Resistance and Enlightened, and trying to work with a cross-faction kind of point of view to it. So I'm making sure that both factions are happy with the mission being in their town. It's not going through any kind of volatile, contested areas that they're not happy with or anything. And I've managed to put together so far about 20 in the UK as well. So it seems to be so far working quite well and fairly popular, and I've had a lot of good feedback on several of them. Some of them still need a little bit of work, but it's an ongoing thing, and all of the creators will tell you that we're all kind of learning as we go, because it's kind of such a new thing, and it's kind of like experimenting on how to make it work best, both for us as creating them and for the community who we're creating them for. So it's sort of like an organic process at the moment, but it's going fairly well, and it seems to be fairly positive from the player's point of view.
Right.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Do you mind if I just have a follow-up?
That's all right.
Great. Good.
Sorry, just I'm interrupting Jorge, unfortunately. We talked about the limited mobility, and we actually had a couple of visitors here in DC that wanted to do some of the missions, but one of them did have limited mobility to do at least one or two of them, especially one that was in a college campus.
Yeah.
You keeping that? Is that something that you're kind of also being conscientious of, and is it something that maybe that the other creators are also keeping in mind?
When I design the mission, I look at something as to whether I would personally be able to do it. So most of the missions that I have designed so far have been in city centres, so they're easy to navigate for people of all abilities. You know, fairly flat, fairly even, well-trodden areas, so that they're kind of easy to get around on foot. There's only one that I've designed so far that you need to have a motor vehicle to do, and that's in Birmingham, and it's following the trail of Tolkien and his childhood. So it's going around the sites of Birmingham city centre, from where he was brought up to places where he stayed throughout his life, and the university where he stayed during the war and things like that. So that's the only one so far that you actually need sort of like assistance to complete, but most of that is doable by car. The rest of them are all in town centres where it's reasonably flat, easy to get around, and you know, I wouldn't have a problem doing them myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's cool. And that's something that I really want to be conscientious of if Andor went with that power.
Yeah, and sure, if anybody has any special requests like that, if they want to request a mission and want to put that as a special, you know, thing to consider, then we certainly will look at it, and there is space to do that on the form. So yeah, go for it.
Cool, good to know.
Well, now making these missions to the real thing in your fields. Like Anne, I understand you have real interesting in fields, and you serve as intel for several operations. Which of those ops is your most memorable?
Wow. There's a couple really. The first big op that I was did any intel work for at all was an op called Redemption, which was a madcap idea to field the UK, starting in Iceland and Norway, and going right down to Spain and Belgium and France in the south, and covering the entire of the UK in a network of many fields. So I think the total of those fields well, we kind of lost count, to be honest. So we were working on them. It took about 2 hours to put them up, and watching it was kind of awesome on Intel. I think it was the first major breakage of Intel that occurred when we were putting that up. Counting the actual fields and the mind units that we captured actually took me 2 days following the fields going up, and I think it was something like 130 million mind units over around about 70 fields.
Wow.
But we kind of lost count. So yeah, that was pretty impressive. But I've since been involved in other things, like we did the Green Marble Op a few months ago, which was most of the Northern Hemisphere, and that I was drafted in at the last minute to do some intel over the North Sea. I kind of knew about the op previously because I've met the people that were involved in creating it and has kind of gotten wind of what was going on. And so I kind of like was sat there watching the North Sea for my little bit, and then it's like, oh right, we're putting the links in now, and I was like zoomed out globally, and that was pretty cool watching that shoot across Russia and then following into Europe and America. It was brilliant. But on a more local scale, we've done sort of city ops. We did one between London, Bristol and Manchester. Managed to get about 4 million mind units. It was only the one field, we didn't layer it or anything, but to put it from the centre of those 3 towns was, you know, a pretty big achievement, because getting anything into the centre of London is just crazy. We rested ourselves from that one, but no, it was good. That one also, we put that together in about a week. It was it was kind of a response to a resistance operation that had happened, and then we decided that we'd try and give it a go ourselves and see if we could do it too. And it kind of succeeded, which was a bit of a surprise to everybody concerned, actually. But yeah, it was good fun.
Nice. Now, I know that with a couple of those ops, you probably had to deal with Kent Long, who is like on here previously. And, you know, he seems like he can be a real hard ass. How'd you like working with him? And I'm totally kidding. I actually love Ken and have strong admiration. So.
Yeah, I've worked with him quite a bit. I was involved in some of the lighthouse. I mean, lighthouse is an umbrella term which covers many, many ops, and I've been involved with him almost from the first op that was going on with regards to that. And yeah, he knows what he wants, but he's actually really easy to work with and a really nice guy to get along with. So yeah, it's all good there.
So just curious, how'd you find out about the game?
Oh, well, I've been on Google Plus since it was in beta, and obviously around about November 2012 it was spammed everywhere. So I kind of heard first about it there. One of my friends, and then it turned out quite a few of my friends had joined up and been given codes and things, and so I just applied and got a passcode sent to me. I started playing. I think I got the invitation. It was Christmas time 2012. I didn't start playing then because obviously it was Christmas and a bit manic. But I actually started playing, I think, mid-January 2013, and kind of went from there, really.
Yeah, fun. Now, is there a story behind your agent name, like kind of the spelling of genes as like genetic genes? Blue genes?
It's a very geeky thing. Basically, it's a 2000 AD character called Venus Blue Jeans, who is completely unrelated to anything Ingress, except I kind of double-checked on her earlier, actually, and she is in fact blue, so that probably didn't bode well for my choice of faction. But yes, that's basically it. It's Venus Blue Jeans from the 2000 AD comics. My boyfriend thought it was kind of funny because I make a lot of clothing, so, you know, it's obviously blue jeans, and blue jeans is kind of a bit of a rhyme thing going on there. But yeah, that was it, really.
I really don't get it. If you have blue jeans, what are you doing in that faction?
Well, but back in those days when I first signed up, I had absolutely no idea that there were faction colours, let alone anything else to do with the game. I just thought it was a pretty cool name and a pretty cool game, and I just signed up. I picked Enlightened because I like the sound of it, and when I checked out Intel, the town where I lived was mostly blue, so I just went green because I thought, well, at least I have someone to play against. So that was the whole reason for my picking Enlightened over Resistance, was just the fact that the town was blue when I looked at the scanner first. So yeah.
Okay. Well, Hannah, are you ready to take some questions from our viewers?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, just the ask us. Well, ask you, which is your favorite app, and which is your grouchiest moment?
Right. My favourite op so far actually is probably the one that we did a couple of weeks ago, which was Unity. Quite a few places globally were involved in just fielding their major cities, and we tried to all do it kind of at the same time. We had a plan that involved 2 fields in the UK, one of which worked, one of which got massively blocked by a resistance field, but it was kind of didn't really matter. But yeah, we fielded London and most of the south of the UK, and we managed to get, I think, 26 layers up in the end. But it was really, really touch and go right at the end as to whether we would actually manage it. And the guys that were all on ops just turned and sort of just looked at each other and went, did that link actually happen when it finally went through? Because it was right up until the last second we actually thought that it was just going to fail. So that was probably my favourite one recently. So yeah, it was great fun. Although being up at 4 o'clock in the morning and calling links from 4:30 till like 6 a.m. was not fun.
Well, what time are you waking up, or are you awake now? So.
It's 5 minutes past 3 in the morning currently.
Okay. Hopefully you're having a little more fun, but I don't know. This is pretty fulfilling.
No, it's good, thank you.
Good.
To pronounce it correctly, MTAK. He asked, did you collect certain type of souvenir of portal keys, and if you do, which ones?
I do have a collection of souvenir portal keys. They're a bit random. One is outside of the hotel in Amsterdam when I stayed for the Amsterdam event that we did. I've got another one for Sleeping Beauty's castle in Disneyland Paris, where we went on holiday back in the summer. I have a collection of various pirate portal keys that people have either given me or that I've collected. So there's a pirate portal in Cherbourg that I've got called Le Corsair, which is a nice pirate with his cutlass out and things. And another one for a Hello Kitty pirate that is somewhere in Asia that somebody gave me when they picked it up on holiday. So yeah, I have got a couple of them. A couple of them overly so.
Sorry, I have some issues hearing you, but those keys are really nice, and well, you are getting keys from all over the world now.
Yes, people are going on holiday and bringing me back keys, especially ones that have got a pirate theme. So I have a collection of about 5 or 6 pirate keys now. So yeah, and they're all over the world.
That's really cool. Well, Hannah, this is your moment. You have 60 seconds to. You are not going to be interrupted. So 3, 2, 1.
Okay, well, I guess I'd like to thank the amazing team in the UK, London, and the South Coast who helped make everything so much fun. And I'm talking about Resistance and Enlightened because the whole, if you didn't have both teams, it just wouldn't be fun at all. They'd just be playing against yourself, and that's always boring. And the other one is that we have on this weekend, as a remembrance act to do with the 100 years since the Great War, we are running an op which is basically a massive field art over the UK. So to anybody that's watching, I'd just say check out the Intel map on sort of Saturday night, Sunday morning, and you'll see something pretty special, I hope.
Great, great. That's awesome. Hannah, it's been wonderful to have you here with us in the show. Thank you for staying up so late or waking up to be with us, whatever you did. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you very much for having me.
Anne, are you there? Oh, you are muted. You can unmute. Oh,
I'm here.
and just one, because I was late in the show, I wanted to say to you also, thank you for being with us, and well, nice to have you, and I'll see how you were treated by Daphne in the beginning of the show.
We
Thank
can
you.
chat. All right, well, I guess that wraps up this week's show. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and thanks for being patient and still watching.
Yeah, we have a lot of problems today, but thank you very much.
Yeah. We'll see you all next week.
See you guys.
Good night, everybody.
Probably we are going to have Andrew now.
I know. He's traveling in the land of what stays there, what happens there stays there. Secrets.
Hannah, does your pirates fight with krakens?
Yes, they have enormous swords. In fact, I've got my own sword. It's not sharp, but it works.